AAU programs are definitely legitimate. Some are not as legitimate. Some you just don't want to deal with it all.
I want to talk about the recruits you have coming in next year, but let me just ask you this question. Knowing everything you know now, would you have still recruited Sebastian Telfair?
No, definitely not, because I gave up on Rajon Rondo. And no. So I enjoyed recruiting Sebastian. It was a good experience. I never thought a high school point guard would go to the pros at that point in time. When I showed up at the gym one day and Derek Jeter and Jay-Z was there at Fordham, I knew I was in a little bit of trouble.
You're a good recruiter, but you can't out-recruit those guys. All right, let's talk about some of the players you have coming in. We've got to start with Derrick Caracter, because here's a guy, his talent is clear. He's got big size, great hands and feet, but he's been in a number of prep schools. He's had some suspensions on and off. Some people question about whether or not mentally he's going to be ready to play for you. What can we expect from him?
Well, terrific young man, very bright away from the game, could speak on a number of different subjects. Probably been pampered since 8th grade, been a little lazy at times, that's why he's overweight. So he chooses a program that goes to the other extreme from what he's used to, which didn't make much sense to me at all, and we talked about that. So he's either going to be a great one or he's going to be a bust. I don't think there's going to be anything in between. If he's resilient enough to understand what discipline is all about, to understand what team is all about, I think he's going to make it big and maybe the best player I've ever recruited.
Really? So I was going to say, but from a physical standpoint, no question in your mind about where he stands.
Awesome talent, great hands, good passer, understands the game, can't be moved off the low post. I'm really looking forward to coaching him. On the other hand, he's got to really pick up his intensity to play at the University of Louisville.
One of the great names in high school basketball is Rice High School. You got a point guard out of there. Tell us about Edgar Sosa.
Edgar Sosa is a combination type basketball player. I think if a safe fell on top of Francisco Garcia and made him 6'2", it would be Edgar Sosa. They're both from the Dominican Republic. They have the same type of emotional fire, great kids, really understand the game the same way, and just love Edgar. I think he's going to be a very good program in our system. The
difference being, though, that Garcia was not that highly recruited. He wasn't a McDonald's All-American, and that was a big motivator for him, whereas with Sosa, he is kind of highly recruited. Is any kind of difference playing out itself out there?
No, I'm hoping that Edgar could reach the status of Francisco. Francisco, really spoke English, but not as fluent as Edgar is, and he had a lot to learn away from basketball to grow up. Edgar's he's been here a little bit longer.
Okay. Earl Clark, Rathaway High School in New Jersey. Tell us about him.
Extremely gifted, does it all. He can pass at 6'9", he can shoot, needs to improve a little bit more on his outside jump shot. He's long, has all the skills to be a great basketball player, needs physical development more than anything else.
Okay, and last, Jerry Smith, East High School,
Jerry
in
Smith,
Wisconsin, I guess.
Is probably the most developed of the four. He right now is the most ready. He doesn't have many deficiencies. He can shoot, he can pass, he's tough-minded, he's mature for his age, so his body's developed. So he's probably the most ready. Caracter and Clark probably have the most upside and growth of the four.
Your last question, Rick, is that I know you're trying to build Louisville into something. You did maybe one of the best rebuilding jobs in history when you got to Kentucky. They were dealt with the NCAA.